everybody. My name is Anika. My pronouns are she, her, and today I am here with Ellen. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ellen Cynar. I'm with Top the Organic Project, and I use she, her pronouns.
All right. So today we have 15 pretty cool questions to ask you, and I will get started with number 1. What is your role in the menstrual movement?
Sure. I work for Top the Organic Project. We are an amazing period product company. We make organic pads, tampons, and liners, and I get to connect humans with those products.
Okay. Number 2, when did you first get involved in the menstrual activism space?
Yeah, so my background is in public health, so I've done a lot of basic needs distribution work for most of my career, especially in the food distribution, food access world. And I actually started a free period product program in a public school system almost 4 years ago. So like many of you knew that there was a need in public schools to have access, started that program with a lot of amazing support from school leadership, students, and companies like Top that made donations. And so that's where I started off in thinking about period product access.
Yeah. And in all of this, what was the biggest challenge you faced so far?
So I think that for a lot of people who are really excited about period product access, it seems like a very simple, like, oh, we just get product and then people can access it. But there are so many other components, transportation, storage, supply chain, that if you're not in that churn of how people get things on a day-to-day basis, it can be really hard to pull people into that story. So I would say the biggest challenge is really helping people understand supply chain, help people understand, like, how do things wind up on your shelves? How did that thing wind up in your bathroom? It didn't just miraculously appear there. Somebody bought it. It's, somebody sold it. Somebody had to advocate for it. And so how do we help other advocates, other people who are interested in making sure that people have access to period products, especially good period products, know all of the processes that happen?
Yeah, no, that's so important. And in conjunction with that, what is the most pressing problem that we face specifically to the menstrual justice movement?
Yeah, where are the guys? Hey guys, where are you? We need you. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of us that are here as, advocates on behalf of people with periods, people trying to advocate for women's health. But we need men. We need men in this conversation. We need them to see this as a major need, as an equalizer for women, in the menstrual justice world. And so I think that's the most pressing problem. How do we get men equally involved into this movement?
That's so important and such a great point. To recenter back onto Top specifically, for anyone who may not know, what is Top and what is their main mission?
Yeah, Top is the organic project, and we supply amazing organic pads, tampons, and liners in retail environment, e-commerce, and then to a lot of sort of the institutional market. So schools, nonprofits, think like really big organizations, and then also advocates who are working to increase period product access in community spaces. And our mission is to get really good products out to people and also have really stigma shattering conversations to make sure that periods are a comfortable conversation, they're a comfortable topic and normalized.
Yeah, and I noted that sustainability was something that Top has underscored. So how can people in their daily lives integrate sustainability in a way that's functional and not like stepping out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, I mean, I think just basic behavior change says that you make micro changes in your life, right? And you find the things that feel most impactful to you, but also feel like low-hanging fruit. And so, it's I think you have to hear something 7 times for you to really hear it. You have to make these micro changes in your life to really feel like you're making, big, bold steps. And that isn't to say that you shouldn't be making big, bold steps in terms of sustainability or life choices. But I think on your day-to-day, what are the things that you are going to consistently able to carry through that has long-term impact in your life and for the environment?
Yeah. To you, as a professional in this industry, why does sustainability matter?
We're in a crisis. We are absolutely in a crisis, and we are not acknowledging that. And so, you know, we sometimes forget at top that our products are organic. I know that sounds weird, but it feels like it should just be the norm, right? These sorts of movements should just be a part of what we're doing. And, you know, we are equally excited to be in conversations with reusable product companies, but also, you know, there's an amazing space for organic and more sustainable single-use products too. So, you know, period products often become this like last bastion of what things people have changed out in their lives, right? Like we've all moved to carrying a metal straw around, and we've done all these other massive changes, but think about the products that are closest to your most precious parts of your body.
Yeah.
You know, like in some ways that's the most important thing that you should be thinking about. And so to me, it's about not just the sustainability of products that matters, but also the quality of products. And I think you often see a higher quality when you are coming into a more environmentally preferred period product space.
Would you be able to tell us about your specific position and your day-to-day work life at Top?
Yeah, so I manage our brand impact. I always say I have the best job because I get to have conversations like these. It's everything from tracking our environmental and social impact metrics, having conversations with schools, having conversations with advocates. We talk a lot, or I spend a lot of time talking with janitorial and sanitation supply companies. So think about, you know, whomever is, you know, delivering toilet paper to a company or to a business, they also are delivering period products. And so how can we partner with organizations like that? I spend a lot of my time, again, just having conversations and helping an organization problem solve, figure out how they can get good product, how they can work with us, how we can work with their, you know, their teams, their facilities management teams, to make things happen in the space that they're trying to impact.
Yeah, what is specific to Top's manufacturing process and how is it different?
Yeah, so we are an organic period product company. And so we, you know, I think the primary differentiator between a company like Top and a lot of other brands is really that, you know, we're prioritizing better cotton and better ingredients for our period products. You know, I think another piece of manufacturing that differentiates us and that comes a little bit more to where we're selling is that we have a pretty diverse sales channel. So for example, you can find us in amazing stores like Wegmans, Sprouts, Fresh Times, like, you know, great stores across the country. You can find us on e-commerce, you know, you can find us on Amazon, you can find us on FSA, HSA stores, and then you can find us in more institutional large scale markets. And so from a manufacturing perspective, it's not just the ingredients that are going into our products, but it's also the amazing and different ways that we are packaging our products and distributing our products to get it out to as many sales channels as possible.
To branch off of that, would you be able to compare the efficacy of organic period products versus more like conventional ones? Because I do understand that that's a concern that people have.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm a person with a period. I've had a period for a really long time. And I love using Top products. I feel like they work just as well as any of the conventional products or traditional products that I would have used when I was a younger person. You know, we do hear concern that they might not be as, that, you know, an organic product might not work as well as a traditional product. And I will say I find that they absorb better and that I'm not having to change them. I change them when I'm supposed to, but not as frequently as I might with something else. I think the other piece too, if you're a pad user, a lot of traditional pads are actually filled with fillers. So they look like they're substantial, but they're actually not absorbing in the way that you would want cotton to be absorbing. And so, you know, for pad users that are out there, you know, switching to an organic product that is using, you know, better cotton and fewer fillers, you might find that you actually have better absorbency than you do with one of those like really thick pads that is giving you the perception of high quality.
Yeah, and consider our audience. We're posting this from everywhere, YouTube to Instagram. How can young people watching this get involved?
I love people influencing the immediate space that they're in. And that could be having a conversation with the person that you're sitting next to at the dinner table. That could be advocating for the public spaces that you're in, for free period product access. Sometimes it's just asking a question, starting a conversation, but really thinking like, what is your sphere of influence? And I will say this over and over again, students hold far more power than they could ever imagine. Your schools are working to meet your needs. Your colleges and universities are looking to meet your needs. And no, it might not be an immediate like change of heart or, turning on the light switch, but the more and more that you're able to, convene with your peers and influence the space that you have right next to you or in front of you is so powerful. I talk about this all the time with my colleagues. I was not doing the advocacy work that you all are doing today. And you do have the power of the internet, and it can be a very scary place, but it can also be a very empowering place. And so, think with the internet, you have such global reach, but think about how much you can impact at the local level. Talk to your city council people, talk to your elected officials, go to your town halls, go to those places where adults are making decisions on your behalf and use your voice, because a lot of times adults are just making these decisions in a vacuum, again, on your behalf, and not asking what students want or need.
And speaking of young people, what is something that you wish you knew about menstruation growing up?
Oh, interesting. You know what? I grew up in a very period positive family. And I remember when I went to college, my dad got me, he went to like a bulk store and got me a year's supply of period products. And I thought that was normal. I realized that other people didn't talk about periods. I didn't realize that it wasn't this normalized thing. I wouldn't necessarily say it was something I was like talking to everybody about all the time, but it didn't feel shameful. It didn't feel stigmatized, kind of annoying. And so I think for me, what I wish I had known is that, and I had period product security, right? I lived with that, and that is amazing. And so what I wish that I had known as a younger person is that is not true for everyone, and that this is truly a stigmatized conversation, and that my voice as a young person could have been used to make everyone feel as comfortable as I did with period product access and talking about periods.
It's very interesting. And once again, stemming off of that, what does having a stigma or a stigma mean to you?
It means shame. It means quiet shame. And sometimes it's a quiet shame that you don't even know exists, right? Like sometimes we don't even know that we have a fear of something or a stigma about something until it's put in front of us. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any particularly entertaining life stories pertaining to menstruation?
I think my dad buying me a year's supply of period products at the beginning, like my freshman year of college, was pretty awesome. I would also say, working for Top is really fun, and we actually all have tampon costumes. And so every once in a while, we might show up at an event in tampon costumes. But we were wearing them the other day in downtown Boston, and it is amazing how receptive people are. Like 1 in 10 is like, oh, you're a little weird. But honestly, people are really excited to talk about periods. And I know that sounds strange, but it's true. And the number of men that I had come up to me and start engaging in conversation, like, oh, my girlfriend's really interested in like period advocacy and menstrual advocacy and health. My mom, I remember when I had to buy my mom period products, it starts to bring out stories and kind of like bring down the anxiety and the stigma. So yeah, I think wearing a tampon costume is highly entertaining as an adult.
Yes. And our last 15th question, words of wisdom.
Just be passionate about whatever you're going to do. If you're going to do something, do it really well. I think this is not true to just like period access or the menstrual equity movement, but don't live half-assedly through your life. Do it with passion. And I think especially for people who are in spaces where they're advocating for social change and advocating for things on behalf of not just themselves, but of, women, girls, people with periods, it can feel very frustrating. It can feel like a slight to yourself when people don't understand why you would need, period products and spaces. And so I guess my wisdom is just to know that like those challenges are only meant to propel you further in what you're supposed to do. Harness that frustration and that energy and know that you are part of something that is bigger than you. You are a huge piece of it, but that this is a shift, this is a movement, and you are a part of it, whether or not you have those open doors at your school, whether you have those open doors at your community, and that you'll get there. So I always say, out of shit comes sunflowers. Some of the most beautiful flowers come out of the stinkiest manure. And so there is always an opportunity for you to rise higher, even if you're facing, any sort of adversity in what you're doing.
Yeah, I'd like a t-shirt that says that, so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. This was Miss Ellen Cynar.
Thank you.